All right, so it's that time of the afternoon. Promised you having a conversation with the one and only. Okay, wait. Before I introduce him, some people at SNIT are listening, and the people at SNIT, they are saying that the atmosphere in the publication unit of SNIT is charged with the kind of music that we're playing. Well, this is the message. It says this show is like afternoon coffee for some of us.
I know, yeah.
It says special dedication to the team: Felix Siao, Mimi Asumani Asamoah, Jeffrey Opperson, and Amanda Opare. This is coming from Kelvin Luchu. All right, so the one and only Rocky Dawuni. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
It's good to have you here again.
Yes.
It's always fantastic talking to you.
Yes, a nice day. It's a beautiful day in Accra. Just moving around the city and interviews and meetings and all of that. It makes you appreciate how amazing our country is. Yes.
Yeah. Well, the last time we spoke was on Breakfast Daily, actually, on TV when you joined us the other time. Yes. But you've been working. Since then, Talk to us about,
I think the last time we spoke, that was right before the Grammys happened.
Yes.
And then, obviously it was postponed, and then we went to Las Vegas for the Grammy event. So, which was a great, really amazing opportunity. I had opportunity of really, talking about our music environment, projecting African music to all the global media that assembled over there, and then my sister Angelique Kidjo eventually emerged the one who got the nod. But it was really a great opportunity because it was a record number of African musicians too who had been nominated. So it showed that our music, not only within the continent but collectively, is making a lot of impact, globally. And for me, that was the beautiful takeaway from there. From there was a concert that I did in Los Angeles, and then came back, and then I was back again for another slew of concerts too over there. And then was back in the country, and then I just got back from the UN General Assembly in New York, where I also attended that too.
Yeah. So you do a lot of advocacy work.
Yes.
Climate change.
Climate, yes. Environment. I'm always very careful using the word climate. And I'm also always very careful to being somebody that follows buzzwords. So because it's climate and everybody's following. I believe in the environment. I believe that we all have a responsibility to take care of it. I believe that we need to protect trees, protect our water ways, as we're talking about right now. There's the Galamsey issue that everybody's on everybody's mind right now. It's something I've been talking about for a long time because clean water is one of the most important things in the world. And if we don't take care of the water bodies that take care of us, eventually we're going to create a whole generation that will not have access to this resource, and you have to go to somewhere else. And I'm glad that the conversation has reached a fever pitch right now, where all the concerned sectors are speaking about it and trying to find a solution to it, which for me is healthy. And then the thing too is that you see people cutting trees everywhere.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
Yes.
You grew up where? When you were 5 years old, where were you?
Michel Camp. I was a barracks boy, so I was born in Michel Camp in Tema.
Okay.
It was a very strict environment.
Yeah,
very, very strict environment.
Now, traditionally, we've noticed. We've had this for a long time. People have felled trees for charcoal, felled trees for different things, furniture, whatever. How do you communicate to the average Ghanaian who putting food on the table isn't exactly an easy task
Yes,
to do.
yes.
To say that, don't cut the tree.
Yes, yes, yes.
Because of a future challenge that they may face.
Yes, yes.
Now, I understand it,
yes,
but I realize that a lot of people don't necessarily get it.
Yes, it's definitely, communication is a very important thing. And then a lot of times when these, ideas to come and they are being pushed through to some extent, the poor people, and the people who are struggling just to make a living are usually the ones that have to pay the ultimate price. But the reality is that, we used to have, forests in abundance, and growing up here, there's so much that nature gave us in abundance. We can go into the forest, if even it was food. At first, you can go into the forest, you can find wild yam, you can find all of these things that were readily available.
Yeah.
But as the population increases, as the villages expand, as the pressure to go on land comes on land, you can find that now, because we are starting to use modern means of agriculture, let's say using pesticides and all of this, some of this stuff that used to regenerate are no more regenerating because we are forcing and putting outside agents and destroying the long-term ability of the soil to be able to support us.
Yeah.
And then also people who use charcoal too for, it was easy at first. You go into the forest, there's trees. But years of cutting those trees without planting replacing them has resulted now in areas where you go and there's even if even you're looking for trees to cut and you're a tree cutter, you don't even find trees to cut. So if we're trying to make long-term, shall I say, put a long-term vision as to how we can advance and also create a sustainable environment, then we have to address some of these issues. And it means that, first of all, through the habit of constantly going and cutting a tree, these trees take a long time to grow.
They do.
And once you cut a tree, it doesn't grow back if you don't replace them. So it's a resource that is already gone. And at some point, there will be none for you. So how do we diminish people's dependency on charcoal at the same time to encourage them to replenish what has already been taken from the environment? That means, doing interventions like other forms of energy. I know that there's, even organizations like Clean Cooking Alliance who are actually doing their forum here have been working in that direction, trying to find, like renewable fuels that can be used for stoves and all of that in the local setting that will reduce the pressure of constantly depending on charcoal. So all of this, because it can be solved overnight, but we have to have a framework to move ourselves out of that dependency. At the same time, too, another framework too that shows that we replenish all the destruction that we've done, because the more our population increases, 1 out of 4 people in the world is going to be African by 2050.
Wow.
And that means that there's going to be more pressure on our environment, more pressure for food and all of this. So we need our lands to be able to be sustainable. So now the act of where I can just go into the land and food will be there is no more there. Even Kontomre, I remember growing up in Koforidua, after the farm, after you farm the farm, Kontomre comes. You don't even have to work for it. Now we've sprayed the hell out of the land, destroyed it. Now nothing comes out of it. So first of all, you're using agents that are in the immediate will give you yield, but in the long run will destroy your land. So as a nation, if we want to address food security, we have to have frameworks in place that is going to address the issue, solve the issue, create a pathway to and a change in attitude too, that will ensure that we create a model that will, first of all, make our land, reclaim our land, reclaim even all the lands that Galamsey has destroyed. We reclaim all of those lands. And then also punitive, what's it called there? The measures too for people who flout that. I believe that is, to some extent, it even goes into the things of an economic crime. When a source of water of people can be sacrificed by a few individuals who are eking out this for just themselves. And not to say that mining is bad. Every country has mining. You know, and there's different types of mining where you can do in order not to destroy the cost. The thing is not mining, but it's the cost of mining. You know, when the cost is you losing your livelihood, then you are on the wrong path. So all of these, I feel that if we have this conversation, it's not necessarily something that is bad for the nation. It's something that is good for the nation. And I'm glad that at this point, everybody, every sector, the chiefs are talking about it, the president is talking about it, the general public, everybody, because you only have to, you don't have to listen to the news. You just have to drive along and see some of these water bodies, and it's self-evident. So sometimes I just, you know, my role too is the United Nations Goodwill Ambassador for Environment for Africa. So when it comes to the environment, I am a chief advocate for United Nations and also a son of this land. So I've been looking at this Galamsey issue for some time. I have nothing to say.
I was about to ask.
because I go everywhere and everybody asks me, you're the ambassador, why is this happening? You know, and the thing is that I am, it's a point of being ashamed. You know, but at the same time too, I know Ghanaians would not, you know, will not do something that they feel is injurious to themselves, to our children, to our future. So it's all a matter of that. We just need to be aware of this situation and how it is costing us in every aspect, and look at the future. And then we all work together across aisles, across political divides, across all of this partisanship to address this thing, because it affects all of us equally.
Fantastic. Let's talk about Never Bow Down.
Yes.
Now some music.
It's self-evident, the title. Never Bow Down means that, you know, even for the citizenry, we don't have to take, because even when it comes to democracy, democracy is agency of the people's power to the ruling leadership.
But I thought to bow was courteous.
No. Not courtesy. Never bow down to, you know, when you take the full length of the lyrics, you say, we shall never bow down to their gods. Small g. You only have to read the Bible to see that every time there was people paid allegiance to lesser gods, God himself got very, very jealous and angry. Because bowing down to false ideologies, false images, false entities, false influence, false made-up concepts that are not who we are as Africans. You know, you only have to look around and see that we are, even through the impact of social media that is being piped by other interests, whether it's coming from China, the US, and all of that, algorithms that are being made, not by Africans, are programming Africans to still be subservient and only focus on the carnal. You know, whilst most of these countries, these algorithms are being programmed to help the society develop, to promote science, to promote ethics that are important for strong foundation. But anything that you see coming to Africa is about, you know, some body enhancement that is not right. Our youth looking at, you know, sex videos, little kids being sexualized, our ladies being exposed and commodified, you know, our women. You know, all of these things are stuff that we as a nation, as a people, need to look at it critically and see how either we have to create counter algorithms that are going to be able to elevate our culture and project us as a people, or else all the interests that, first of all, enslaved us, second of all, colonized us, are not out there writing algorithms to make us superior to themselves.
Obviously.
Here's an opportunity for them to also make sure that perpetually we are under the rule of, AIs that are keeping Africans in place from realizing their ultimate abilities. And that's why Never Bow Down is all about looking at this and not bowing down to false concepts that compromise our integrity.
Fantastic. Well,
No, no, no. You're gonna walk the talk and talk the walk. You're gonna walk the talk and talk the walk. You're gonna walk the talk and talk. My brothers and my sisters. You're gonna walk the talk and talk the walk. You're gonna walk the talk and talk the walk.
All right, so we want to hear the song that we're talking about, Never Bow Down. Well, here he goes.
Traffic Avenue on 97.3 Citi FM.
We shall never bow down to the gods. No matter how high the price, we never bow down. We shall never bow down to the no matter how high, we never bow down. Too many atrocities. Is there no love in humanity? These so-called leaders, they claim can lead. And believe, so sick and tired. That's why the world's the way it is. Aren't you sick and tired of these false narratives and all these doctrines that they teach us to steal identities? In this world, it's so easy to fall for anything. I stand firm in what I believe. Oh, I said there's no retreat, no surrender. We shall never bow down to the gods. No matter how high the price, we never bow down. We shall never bow down to the gods. No matter how high, we never bow down. They're raising images of false idols, lead us astray from the promised land. Everywhere we turn, we must bend the knee, just so we can survive. We shall never bow down to the gods.
All right, so never bow down to the gods. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So 0549986996. If you have any questions for Rocky Dawuni, he's right here. And yeah.
Yes. It's an honor to have you in the studio with us, sir.
Thank you.
And this record we just listened to is on its way to the Grammys, and we pray it will make its way there. I'm sure you've been asked so many times about how our local acts can prepare their works that will be ready to be nominated by the Grammys. And I would like to ask, since you've been, I mean, every time you come to Ghana to work on a project or just come to promote your music, do you have up-and-coming acts or even those who are already established in the industry come up to you for you to mentor them, to guide them on the right track, especially with their music direction? Because I've realized that before your record or your album is nominated for a Grammy, there is a certain direction that the music takes. So I wanted to ask, do you find or do you have any of our upcoming artists or established artists come to you to actually direct them on the path that they can actually earn them a nomination at the Grammys?
Oh, I mean, I've been asked that question, a lot of times. And, I have my advice and my insights and my perspective have been very public.
Okay.
And also when I have the fortitude of, meeting, our artists or ones that are friends with me or close to me, and every time I always make it a point to give my perspective as to the overall aspect of, the thing is that I will keep saying that you don't make records for the Grammys.
Okay.
You just try to be great at what you're doing and just put in the effort that is required, because you always have to look at it that when you do great works and when you are original,
yes,
and when you also push the envelope in terms of your sound or your approach, it attracts the attention of people, and that is the approach to that sometimes will be so fresh in the ears of the general public, first of all, and then also if your music has that profile and it's presented within the framework of the academy too.
Okay.
You have the the members of the voting members of the academy,
yes,
will be able to at least catch their ear, because it's sounding different and interesting rather than being just a rehash of something that they've already heard before.
Okay.
So my thing is that we just need to, artists need to be bold, to push the envelope of their creativity and not be limited by what certain the industry prescriptions, and these days too, you are not limited by say, oh, you are a certain type of artist,
yes,
because the internet has opened as to what artistry mean.
Yes.
And I feel even the rise of Afrobeats is all also about the destruction of genres. So it's allowed new genres to emerge. So we are at a golden era of where our creativity can heavily be rewarded, and our ability to also venture into the unknown territories will be embraced en masse.
Yeah.
As long as a musician, you are also understanding that music comes with songwriting. So first of all, you have to create a beautiful song. Get in there, create it, take your time, write good lyrics. Some songs are there, you hear they're great, but the lyrics, they missed the lyrics point, and you're like, if only they had taken the time to just strengthen that part, that song would have been a classic. So the difference between the classic and so all I'm saying is that just put in the time that is required, the effort that is required. Don't be afraid. Make sure that you take your time to learn what songwriting is, so that when you come out with your songs, they don't only impact the people around you, but they also attract the attention of
the
bigger
outside
award
world.
schemes.
Yeah.
Okay, and another question on the issue of sampling, let's say your works.
Yes.
Do you get approached by up-and-coming artists that they want to sample your music or they want to have a collaboration with you? Do you get any of those?
Yeah. People will come. I mean, some people even get mad at me because they sent like an inbox to my my social media, and they didn't hear from me. And then I was like, and then they'll go and comment that, hey, I sent you the song and you didn't recommend. Like, hey, I did not, I don't, I'm in the studio working. I'm not scrolling on my social media, checking my comments and all my, I mean, once in a while I do that, I'm not saying that I don't do that, but, the thing is that I do, I've collaborated with, musicians, even the post when I was nominated first, the Beats of Zion album, I had collaborations with Sarkodie, with Stoneboy. Okay. The first one had Samini on it, and then Wiala. I collaborated with, and then even on the new project that I'm working to, I'm expanding the whole collaborative thing. So I do that, but the collaborations are organic to me.
Okay.
It's not necessarily somebody saying, hey, let's collaborate, then you collaborate. It has to be the right song, it has to be the right environment, and not necessarily as a stepping stone for somebody to be famous or a quick, cutting around the corner to do that. If I meet I'm inspired by a lot of the upcoming artists. So even some of them, I've reached out to them.
Okay.
You know, I'm not going to mention names. I've reached out to them and be like, hey, you know, I would love to do collaborations with you, you know, whenever you are. I'm working a new record, so do you want to work? Some of them have responded, some have not. Okay. You know, so that's how it works, because I will hear, it's the same way. I will hear an artist and be like, whoa, I love this artist. And maybe they're just coming up and I want to collaborate. So it's a two-way street in terms of all of that. But I'm very open to
all of that.
Yeah, to all of that, as long as it's the right chemistry.
Yeah.
You know, because it has to be the right chemistry. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
So Kwame Dazi has joined us in the studio, guys, and I mean I don't understand why he wants to rain on our party, but he says he says he has to ask some questions.
Yeah. So a few weeks ago, Harvey Mason was here, Grammy CEO.
Yes.
And one thing he spoke about was Afrobeats category being considered for the Grammys. Yes. Now we know we have different genres of music in Africa.
Yes.
Do you think it's right for Grammy Awards to lump all African genres together under one category?
The thing is that I'm not privy to what led to that announcement, and it hasn't been publicly announced yet. So I feel it's hard to make.
They actually published on the Grammy website, and then he also talked about it the last time he came here.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's very hard for me to, honestly, to be able to make a pronunciation, just because people sometimes will take the things that you say and take even a line of it and then tweet and say that this is what you said and misconstrue what you said, but I feel that every step towards Africa is in the right direction, so it does not mean that because there's a step towards Afrobeat, that means that's where it's going to end. You know what I mean? So because it took a long time for even anything that was African to be recognized, because it was all lumped in global.
Yes.
And you can imagine the global, how many countries are all striving for
global.
their individual. Asia wants their own
Europe
thing. Europe wants their own. Everybody is struggling to get their own.
Yeah.
So for our continent and a sound that is coming from our continent, for there to be and we know that Africa, high life music, Africa is a plethora of amazing sounds.
Lots of rhythms. Yeah.
So every step towards us is a step towards us. And that means that from step,
I like that.
we'll go to high life.
Yeah.
From that step, and even probably what is going to be considered the category. There's a category definition.
Yeah.
So category definition does not mean probably the sound of Afrobeats alone.
Okay.
It's going to probably be other sounds that are going to, it's probably going to allow the opportunity to expand, or the opportunity to also other different styles. Even soukous was just made, just like when Jamaicans had UNESCO make reggae. What's it called? Intangible heritage. Soukous and all of that have also got Congolese have been able to push for that to happen, which now to most of us are trying in the background to push for high life to happen.
Yeah, it must.
So all of these things are happening right now. So we should, I believe that anything that, and then the Harvey Mason came to, visit a country in Africa. What country did he come visit?
Ghana.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are our Nigerian brothers crying about that? They're not. Our Congolese brothers. Actually, one Kenyan brother sent me a mail and said, why?
Why is it in Ghana?
3 whys.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was, I think that all of this is a product too of some of the work that some of us have done in terms of bringing attention to Ghanaian music. And the 2 nominations that we've had has also inspired a lot of voices within the academy to start focusing on Ghana.
Yeah.
Ghanaian artists. And that's what eventually led to the CEO coming here and all of that.
Wow.
So the thing is that we have to look at it as a victory and an opportunity to build upon.
Yes.
So I see everything that, whether the sound you know, the sound, the identity of the sound is another country, and we have our own sound. When you go to Kenya, they have their own sound. Everybody has their own sound. But in the long run, Africa is going to be the winner ultimately.
Fantastic.
And that's a good thing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
Rocky.
so much.
Thank you for spending some time with us.
Thank
you for sharing.
Thank you.
All the best in your
Oh, and then
ahead.
the video for Never Bow Down is also premiering tomorrow.
Super.
Yeah.
Super. Where?
So online.
Okay.
On YouTube.
Okay.
Tomorrow it's going to be available, so everybody that is listening should know that tomorrow they can go to YouTube and share the video, and then also it's available on all streaming platforms too. So, you know, it's a song of the time, a song to define the times in which we are, and we need everybody's energy to push it forward.
Bless you.
Yes.
Bless you.
And so shall it be.
All right, so we've been speaking with Rocky Dawuni. Never Bow Down is the song, and like he said, all streaming platforms, you can go and stream it, and then the video is premiering tomorrow on YouTube. It's time for us to go to Citi Newsroom to get some updates from the Citi Newsroom, and Charles Owusu-Kumi has joined us in the studio.